policeman. A policeman is a composite of what all men are, I guess, a mingling of saint and sinner, dust and deity. Culled statistics, wave the fan over stinkers, underscore instances of dishonesty and brutality because they are news. What that really means is that they are exceptional, they are unusual, they are not commonplace. Buried under the froth is the fact. And the fact is that less than 0.5% of policemen misfit that uniform. And that is a better average than you'd find among clergymen. What is a policeman? He of all men is at once the most needed and the most wanted, a strangely nameless creature who is sir to his face and pig or worse behind his back. He must be such a diplomat that he can settle differences between individuals so that each will think he won, but if a policeman is neat, he's conceited. If he's careless, he's a bum. If he's pleasant, he's a flirt. If he's not, he's a grouch. He must make instant decisions which would require months for a lawyer, but if he hurries, he's careless. If he's deliberate, he's lazy. He must be first to an accident, infallible with a diagnosis. He must be able to start breathing, stop bleeding, tie splints, and above all, be sure the victim goes home without a limp or expect to be sued. The police officer must know every gun, draw on the run, and hit where it doesn't hurt. He must be able to whip two men twice his size and half his age without damaging his uniform and without being brutal. If you hit him, he's a coward. If he hits you, he's a bully. A policeman must know everything and not tell. He must know where all of the sin is and not partake. The policeman from a single human hair must be able to describe the crime, the weapon, the criminal, and tell you where the criminal is hiding, but if he catches the criminal, he's lucky. If he doesn't, he's a dunce. If he gets promoted, he has political pull. If he doesn't, he's a dullard. The policeman must chase bum leads to a dead end, stake out 10 nights to tag one witness who saw it happen but refuses to remember. He runs files and writes reports until his eyes ache to build a case against some felon who will get dealed out by a shameless Seamus or an honorable who isn't honorable. The policeman must be a minister, a social worker, a diplomat, a tough guy, and a gentleman. And of course, he'll have to be a genius because he'll have to feed a family on a policeman's salary.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Success North Dallas. I'm Bill Wallace, your host, and I'm so honored to have all of you all here. We had a difficult year last year with COVID. We didn't get to do our Prestonwood Employee of the Year. We didn't get to do our Policeman of the Month awards, but we did. Our last meeting was the Policeman of the Year last February in person. So we're coming back, and we're so glad you all are here. So this is going to be the Academy Awards today, where we honor a number of people with love, with respect, and with gratitude. And that particular video was made, 30, 40 years ago? And when we saw it, I think we both had tears in our eyes. It said, yes, we have to play that. Because, ladies and gentlemen of the blue, you're our best friends. And we love you, and we're excited about this meeting. And if you think about Success North Dallas, we were founded in 1988. When my mentor, Herb Kelleher, told me, Wallace, when you figure out why I should do business with you, come back. Now get out and figure it out. And I looked at everything people did not like in networking. I went to 30-odd networking groups. And I wanted to start something that was high level, a mentoring group, an informal board of directors networking group that was a safe space where people could come and be real, be themselves, not be badgered to be a client, not be badgered with card pushers. And I think we've truly succeeded in that with the help of all of you all. So when you look at the S&D logo, what we all aspire to is success. And inside of that logo, they're interconnecting C's. And those interconnecting C's are how we do it. Connecting the right people for the right reasons at the right time. And we've been doing that since 1988 because of all of you all. So give yourselves a hand. I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be fabulous. This is the correct way to clap. Take a look at our website. It's new. During COVID, we put up a whole new website. We redid our marketing materials, especially our new members and first-time attendees and our virtual attendees, which we want to welcome, both from the police department, which we're on Facebook Live, and Facebook Live from Success North Dallas, and Zoom from Success North Dallas. So welcome to all of you all. Take a moment, go to our website, sign up for our emails so you can stay in the know. And the rules of engagement for today, for the virtual, remember, Big Brother's watching. So turn off your camera if you're going to go do something else like clean your garage. And turn off your sound because we're going to hear and see all of that. So remember, Big Brother is watching with that internet. So just the rules of engagement, be courteous and understand that we're all here together. And I want to thank you to my team. And I say my team, let me rephrase that, my family. The people that helped to make this happen. Jan Claudner over here running Zoom. Casey Hastings, she's our chief of staff. She works the front with Luke Hollingsworth standing back here. Tammy Barrier does our bonus programs. Jeff Crilly and Chris Cambria. Chris, right back here from Real News PR. They do all of our video work. And all through COVID, we were broadcasting from Jeff's studios, his Anchor Desk studios. And in March, we talked with the CEO of Zoom. We were figuring out how to do all of this 2 or 3 times. And I think we mastered it, but it still wasn't in person. So this is so wonderful. At least, hopefully it is for all of us. Jeff Curley publishes daily, 365 days a year, something called The Rundown. Sign up for that. He features a lot of our members in that. He features 3 people every single day based on current events. As we went on through that, Aaron Cook with the Marriott Quorum putting up our out-of-town guest. Andrew Reed, who's bailed us out, a millennial, on the technology. Jan and I just couldn't quite get it right. But Andrew, thank you. He's an attorney. All of these people have jobs. They do this as a volunteer. So when you think about needing somebody to do business with, look toward them. And Lucinda Ruck. Lucinda is at home managing all of our inbound virtual traffic. She handles our LinkedIn, one of the few trained by LinkedIn as a LinkedIn trainer. Kathy Clatterbar, where's Kathy? Right there. She handles our Twitter and Facebook and usually blows it up during these meetings. And speaking of social media, we've got hashtags. Don't hesitate to let people know that you're here. Don't hesitate to let people know that they should be here with you. And don't hesitate to let people know that we meet the 3rd Wednesday of every month and have for 32 years. It's just a huge opportunity for us in this crazy world. Just a few brief things in the news. We'll go back to name tags. We're still just not comfortable having everybody congregate at the name tag table, even though we're congregating anyway, but just being careful. Neil Medwood, I have to mention you and Miraplex. They hosted, and we sponsored with them, they hosted a happy hour, a crawfish happy hour at the truck yard upstairs where it was nicely air conditioned. Neil, thank you. That was good. We had about 20, 30 of our people there. So it was awesome. And Essie, are you here? Workplace Innovators, Work Innovators out front. She's provided us with the thermometer, the temperature gauge, that if you take it and your temperature is too high, go away. But we really appreciate that. And Jim Reynes was going to be here. Jim, did you make it? I'm going to talk about you anyway. Our 103rd Success North Dallas company, Oaked Barbecue. He opened it last year, and he opened it early. because what he did is he started feeding police and fire for free and first responders during all of this time. So when you see Jim Raines, Oak Barbecue, tell him thank you. Pretty good guy and fun to be with. And Kathy O'Neill, are you here? She did Volunteers of America. We are sponsoring with her the LPGA tournament out at the Tribute. And I have 4 tickets, 4 full passes that we'll auction off maybe later. We auctioned off a place in the Pro-Am last meeting and got a few thousand for that. But these funds will go to the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee. And I know some people from Club Corp will probably buy that, but you never know. Somebody, oh, they are laughing. But anyway, we have fun at what we do. And our S&D Young Executives, starting tomorrow, they're going to be publishing a monthly update. And we'll be sending that out to everybody. Please bear in mind, they're looking for mentors. And they're looking for internship opportunities. So keep that in mind. We need probably 10, 15 mentors in the next couple of months or month. And I want to thank Bronwyn Allen, High Profile Staffing, for sponsoring it, and Kent Barner for being our liaison to that. And then I have to thank a special group of people, our partner members. These are the people that came alongside of us when we turned 25 years old with a large financial commitment annually to keep our dues down and to keep us going for the next 25 years. And it's only covers part, but it's great and it has worked. So I'm going to ask each partner member in the room to please stand. Christina, that means you too. Starting right over here, loudly introduce yourself and your company. Texas Legends, a 3-ring circus with basketball in the middle, family friendly, and they're coming back this year. JB.
Yes. JB Gray, CEO of JB Gray International and founder and CEO of Mixed Little Master.
And if you want to know about Bitcoin, you talk to him. No one else. He's a genius at it. And also, you're doing an event.
Yes. Next Friday.
Just come up here real quickly. Just take 30 seconds and tell them about it. Because I didn't get this down. Jan, I'm going off script.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Next Friday and Saturday, we're hosting our lunch party, Mixer Mastermind, my company, Next Level Mastermind. We're launching, and we're going to actually be giving a award to Mr. Bill Wallace. And so I appreciate Bill for everything, and we'll be around. I'll make sure everybody gets an invitation. Come see Bill get it and a really great award.
I'm going to give you an award.
Thank you, guys.
I've got plenty of support. Thank you, JB. So appreciated. Mark Berg, City Central, what's going on tomorrow?
We have a 1-year anniversary of our full work celebration coming up. So love to see as many of you there as possible. Beautiful space. You're doing business for any reason, and love to celebrate. Love to accommodate you.
I think Jeff Curley and I are going to drive over for it. But the stroke of genius here, what does he do? The most elite club in Fort Worth is the Fort Worth Club. So he goes and hires their director of membership to run the office. So this has all worked out kind of well.
Yeah, I mean, it was an accident.
There are no accidents. All right, sir. Phil, our first that believed in us, partner member.
My company is now Emmaus Lens Advisors.
Loud.
Barnett Energy is underneath that. So I've been here since before the beginning.
You have been. He was the first one that believed in us. Deborah. Debbie McAdams, Cleaning for a Reason, ISA charity with the goal of cleaning 1 million homes of people with cancer for free. And in the police department, you all need to get with Debbie because she would love to help you all when you all have a cancer issue. We talked about that beforehand. She's worked with the Stars and many others. So, and Angela Paxton needs to take you to lunch. We'll see if we can't make that happen. Neil.
I'm Misty Erin. I'm with Veriflex, and Neil and I both represent Veriflex here in Dallas. We're based in Houston, and we help from all things cybersecurity to securing anything in between. But I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
In multiple states and headquartered out of Houston. We'll get them to move to Dallas one of these days. And our newest partner member, Fluent Financial, Mitch Kramer.
My name's Mitch Kramer. I'm the CEO of Fluent Financial. We basically have people retire earlier than their lifestyle. They get proprietary benefits. They do 1% for
And we're going to have him talk a little bit more next month. He's bringing up a whole new website, I guess because he became a partner member, but who knows. But it should be a lot of fun. And Christina Cook, where are you? Stand up and wave. Right hand. She said, I will not speak. We're not going to ask you to speak, but she's also part of Fluent Financial. And along with that, we have Pinnacle Graphics, Baker Tilly, Fox Rothschild, Acuity Systems, obviously Real News PR, Chris Cambria, would never stands up. And we appreciate what you do, Chris. Benistar Med Spa, Work Innovators we mentioned, now CFO, RP1, Brad Parnell that did our website. And it's just a great group of people. So I want to call up two great people. I've gotten to know them. I like them quite a bit. They run clubs. One of them is over all the clubs of Club Corp. The other one's over this club, the clubs of Prestonwood. So I'd like to call up Mr. Frank Merkel and Mr. Scott Hadou. Frank is the EVP of Club Corp. Scott is the general manager who's, I think, in my own opinion, has done more for Prestonwood Country Club than any other general manager they've ever had. So give him a raise.
I like you. Thanks, Bill. And what a great organization. I was here, Bill, when was the last time we came? It was 2 years ago now? Because we didn't do it last year because of COVID, correct?
We did
it last year. Okay. So it was last year. We skipped 1 year, but who thought that a pandemic would be great for the golf industry? That's what's been amazing, is because we're outside, we're in fresh air, it's exercise. And boy, the pandemic has been, gruesome for our country and the world, but boy, it's been great for the golf industry. And whoever would have thought that. But with that said, I just want to thank Bill for, this unbelievable organization that brings people together. And as Bill said, he brings the right people together at the right times. And I'm thrilled to be here, honored to be here. Bill, thank you for everything you do for us as a organization. And Scott has to do something that's very, very tough, because the team that he's put together here at Prestonwood, there's not one person that deserves the Employee of the Year award. It's all of them. So to the team at Prestonwood, can't thank you guys enough for everything you do. Andy Wright last year was the Employee of the Year. And Andy has not stopped, whether it was a microburst or whether it was a flood. He's now dealing with $2 million of renovations out there on the land eroding around him. It's just eroding. And it's right now coming in and it's infringing on the golf course. So Andy now is tasked at spending $2 million to get this golf course back in the condition that he had it prior to the floods. So thank you, Andy, for everything you do as well. Well, Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you. You're welcome.
Andy, you heard $2 million just got approved, I think, right? Exactly. Thanks, Frank. All right. So, Bill, thank you very much for having us. As always, this is a great event, and thank you. We are going to give out an award today for our Employee of the Year. It is a very tough decision, as Frank mentioned. I think this person, though, is very deserving of this award. This person started in 2016 with us. They're in charge of receiving all of our member payments, credit card numbers, HR disputes. They host all of our, it's you, all of our employee files. I will tell you a funny story. This individual, who I consider our mom of the club, put me in my place my first week or two here because I'm different. So she was like, yeah, you got to do it this way. And I said, no, it's not the way I work. And so we've had a great relationship. We love her. again, she is the mom to us all. So Karen, congratulations on Employee of the Year. Oh, and she didn't know this was happening, and she would normally never be here. So this is even better. So
Oh, my goodness, thank you. I'm shocked.
why are you
Thank you, Frank.
Come on around front.
Oh.
We're going around. You're going to get a picture. Come on.
Oh,
On behalf of Success North Dallas, this is our 20th year doing this. We would like to honor you as the Prestonwood Employee of the Year. The lady left an invoice on my chair this morning. You asked for it. I did. You asked for it. And the lady that you actually like to thank. So she's been so good to all of us for so long. We love you and appreciate you. And so you hold this while I embarrass you further.
oh, good.
In this envelope, there's a check for $250, just saying thank you from Success North Dallas. In this envelope, there's dinner for two. I'll just stand up at 12 cuts.
Nice.
And in this envelope, could she have a afternoon off? Sure. She's going to Grand Spa. Saturday. She's going, no, she's going to Grand Spa. And she will pick her afternoon off. You heard me say that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Very good.
100% yes. And a raise.
And
And a raise. Oh, I heard that.
There are two of these. One is on display at the tables outside. That is for you all to hang in the club. And this is for you to hang at home. Congratulations. Thank you. You know, our first one 20 years ago was Ellen, that you see running around here all the time. She was our waitress. Now she's the banquet director. She does some banquet direction and she hosts here. And then Brittany, stand up. Brittany, she is the lady that takes care of us putting these meetings together. And you've done that for several years. And we want to thank you for that personally. You've been a pleasure and wonderful to work with. And there's some people in your position, some of these clubs that are not. So thank you very, very much. Well, thank you, Frank, and thank you, Scott. And Scott, I have to thank you for making it such a pleasure to come to this club. It is a pleasure to come here. Okay, we usually do a quote of the day, and this is a challenge coin. This is the North Texas Crime Commission's challenge coin. And around the bezel of this coin is written a quote by John Nance Garner that has become very, very close to my heart. And that quote is this: "The first function of government is to protect and safeguard the lives and property of its citizens." If that does not describe the Dallas Police Department, if that does not describe our past officers of the year, I don't know what does. So with that in mind, I want to bring up Jan Claudner and Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia, and we're going to be down here. First thing that we're going to do is present the officers of the month that were unable to have a reception to receive their Officer of the Month awards. Then we're going to move into the Officer of the Year, and then we're going to hear a few words from our new police chief, who's an incredible, incredible individual. So Jan Claudner, I believe the show is yours.
Thank you.
You have a seat over here.
Okay, can you hear me now? We're good. Hey, it's great to see everybody out here this morning. This is a good group, and I'm very happy that that everybody is here. It's good to see the room all filled up. 2020, what a year it was. But I digress. I'm not going to go into that. While it is our civic duty to speak up about the issues that face our country today, it is also important for us to look at the judicial and law enforcement systems to ensure that all Americans receive the justice to which they are all entitled. It is also important that we not overreact emotionally and punish those in our police departments who are performing their jobs with responsibility. And I think that was said far better in the video that we saw that Paul Harvey recorded for us. He wrote that almost over 40 years ago. Hence the policeman and not the policewoman and police person and all that stuff. So anyway, for almost 50 years, the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee has been presenting the Officer of the Month. These awards are individual at ceremonies that we have at the individual committee functions. But because of COVID, we've not been able to do that. But last September, with the help of our previous chief and the command staff, we were able to honor 7 officers at Dallas Police Headquarters in a little group ceremony. Many of those are here today, and we're glad that they're all here. But that was the last time we were able to do it. So this time we thought we're going to do this here today. In the years before, the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee, known as DCPAC, first came together, citizens would often get together and say, hey, we need to honor a police officer in our community. It was sporadic, short notice, and didn't have a lot of consistency. But in '72, the DCPAC was organized. And that group got together and they decided we're going to do this every month. And since the 80s, one officer has been honored every month of each year. And with the help of our police chief and the command staff today to encourage our sergeants and supervisors to submit the nominations, we're getting the profiles to choose from. And these profiles are very important to us, and they include not only what the police officer does in his normal course of work, but his community involvement and what he does in his off time or her off time. That's very important. Over 500 officers have now been honored by DCPAC. Each one of these officers is given a bar to put on their uniform. This is one of only two civilian bars that's been authorized to wear on the uniform, and we're very proud of that. Each December, from the 12 officers of the month that we have chosen, we select the Officer of the Year. And that officer is always honored at our February meeting. Well, of course, we know that didn't happen, so here we are today for the 20th year. I'd like to recognize all the members of the DCPAC committee. If you all are here, if you just stand up briefly and take a bow. These are the members that put together everything, contribute, and go through all the profiles. And I want to congratulate each and every one of the officers, here or not, who are nominated for Officer of the Month. We're very proud of you for the 2020 and 2021 year. Your letter of nomination is truly indicative of your dedication to your job, community, and the Dallas Police Department. Anyone reading these letters that come in couldn't disagree with that in a minute. So I'd like to bring the following officers up here who have not received their awards. And that is for October, Police Officer Paul Campopiano, Police Officer Timothy Ross, Detective Cynthia Kovach, Robert Davenport, and Senior Corporal Joanne Sanchez. Thank you, Chief. Congratulations, everyone. In order to do this in an orderly fashion, we have all these packages up here, and you guys will get those afterwards, but they get a plaque, and this plaque reads, Dallas Community Police Awards Committee presents to the Officer of the Month with the name in recognition, dedication to service. So we have that. We have in their bags, we give them a book that was written by one of our previous award winners, Tom Covington, and a police officer, retired and passed away a couple years ago. Very interesting reading. We have a pen from the Dallas Winwood Lions Club in a nice wooden box with your name engraved on it. We also have a check in there for $300, and each one of you will get that. And let's see, what else do we have? I think that's all the things in there. So we've got the bars here, and the chief, if you'd like to do this, here's one. Give them all to you, and you can hand them out. Thank you very much. We have the bars, and the chief will give the bars out. And again, this is one of the only bars from a civilian group that can be worn on a police officer uniform. Thank you, Chief. Let's give him a big round of applause. And now I'd like to bring up the other officers of 2020 who are here. Any officer that has been awarded the Officer of the Year, the month, come on up here. Just be recognized in front of this group. Come on, don't be shy. Come on up. You come up too, Steve. These are all the officers that were able to attend today, 2020 and 2021 Officers of the Month. Thank you.
Thank you all very, very much. Jan, I'm going off script completely and totally. But I couldn't think of a better place to sandwich this in. There's a person in this room, and his name is Jan Klodner, that has been a backbone of Success North Dallas. And since we're having the Academy Awards, I wanted to honor Jan and tell you a little story about Jan. Back in 2011, 9/11, we had the chief economist of the Fed scheduled to speak. A few days after, a little over a week, and we were told that only Greenspan was speaking. And he sent a copy of our website, which Jan had done, to Greenspan and said, if we speak anywhere, we should speak at Success North Dallas. On the Sunday prior, or the Monday prior to Success North Dallas, I get a call from the chief economist of the Fed. He says, I've been cleared to speak because of your website. And we had one of the only speakers of the Fed in that first 30 days after 9/11. In the room that day, again, because Klodner had put this website together. In fact, the website, he called me up about a Christmas day and he said, have you looked at your website? I said, what website? He said, Merry Christmas. I didn't even know he was doing it, Mr. Klodner. And I got a call the following month from a guy named Danny Diefenbaum. I didn't know who Danny Diefenbaum was. Some of you all do. He was the SAC of the FBI. And he said, Mr. Wallace, we would like to speak at your lectern. I said, what? He said, well, here's a phone number if you want to call me back. He said, I'm the SAC in charge of the FBI, and we were at your last meeting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had done security the day before the chief economist of the Fed spoke. And he said, we're going to be declassified at 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, and we would like to give on Tuesday. This was Sunday. I had 2 lines at home. I was insured, had this one line everybody had another line that nobody had but my family. That's the line he called on. So that was a little bit off kilter anyway. And he said, we would like to speak. And because of Jan Klodner, he spoke. I said, could our speaker sit with you? Because I think we can move it. And we did. And So the interesting thing was, he starts the first vellum overhead, still has classified top secret. He said, I'm sorry, we just were declassified, and these are the pictures we took at 9/11. We took at Ground Zero. And they gave their first talk at Success North Dallas because of Jan Klodner. And in the room that day, Jan Klodner started his company when he asked the city manager of Lucas to come and join us to hear the FBI SAC speak. And he asked her if he could climb their water towers and take internet to the rural communities outside of Dallas. And that's how he started his meeting. He's become my best friend. He beat the hell out of me at racquetball many times. I still cannot claim a game. He's been there through thick and thin. And so from my heart to yours, I want to simply honor, and I want to send you and Marcia to table 13 for dinner. And I want to just simply say thank you so very much for serving as Secretary Treasurer of the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee, for serving as my right hand for so many years, for being a part of my family, and more importantly, for making me look good at Success North Dallas. So ladies and gentlemen, Success North Dallas's lifetime honoree, Mr. Jan Klodner. You don't, no tears.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have to say, he's gone off script on me so many times. I really look forward to doing
I
this.
never go off script. Bill, happy birthday, Bill. It was Bill's birthday yesterday, and we and I were up here setting up, and he and I had a drink and celebrated his birthday. But happy birthday, Bill, from everybody. Thank you very much. Well, it's been a pleasure to work with this group, and I just smile every Wednesday morning that I'm up here and prepare, even though it's a lot of work and we get it done. But to see all the smiling faces, it's awesome. But we're here for a different purpose today. Today, we are honoring and inducting another great officer into the DCPAC Community Officer of the Year for 2020. Senior Corporal Stephen Castillo, badge number 5733, has been serving the Dallas Police Department for over 3 decades. It's over 33 years. And as a side note, excuse me, his badge number 5733, we're up now, Chief, what, 11,000 something for the badge numbers today. 12,000. So,
mine.
oh yeah, that's it. The newbie on the block. Well, he's part of the Old Heads group of a 5,000 series. Anyway, he is currently assigned to the Central Patrol Division Resource Center at Jubilee Park, where he has served in the position for over 8 years. His supervisor, Sergeant Wilson Jones, said that in the nomination letter, he is a superior leader with relentless commitment to community service. Sergeant Wilson Jones continues her accolades on Senior Corporal Castillo with contributes significantly, self-starter, high degree of versatility, and an initiative. Superb organizational skills. The list goes on and on and on. But what does this all mean? He is a servant of the people, a selfless leader. His nomination letter clearly expresses his belief that a community and the police department are synonymous to protect one another, prosper, and to educate and foster growth in our young adults. When Senior Corporal Castillo was among the young officer at the police department, he was assigned to North Central Division. From approximately 92 to 95, he started up the Police Athletic League for baseball. Knowing how important sports and teamwork were for the young children, he was persistent to make sure that they had the equipment they needed to play. So when donations and contributions were minimal, guess what? He spent his own money to get the equipment to outfit the team. Why? Because he believes in community and understands that this is an investment in the future. He received over 80 commendations throughout his career, from outstanding job performance to professionalism, kindness, and again, that list goes on and on. He is thankful for these, but humble, because his award or reward is the building of the community he works in. At his current assignments, Senior Corporal Castillo, along with other officers like Officer Ray Haley. I don't know how many of you remember Officer Ray Haley in 2015. He is also from Jubilee Park. He was the Officer of the Year in 2015. But together they started the Cub Scout Pack 9007. It's chartered for economically and disadvantaged communities at no cost to the family. And relentlessly, he's dedicated his time and donations and assisted the building of Pack 9007 to over 12 members. Now, COVID-19 put a damper on it briefly, but he is now planning to double that membership in the near future. He implemented the O.M. Roberts Traffic Safety Zone, which significantly decreased traffic offenses in school safety zones. He personally responded to over 900 citizens' complaints, which could have easily and potentially developed into 9/11 calls. From the intelligence gathering, gang activity, to code enforcement, narcotics violations, Senior Corporal Castillo appears to be a Superman of a sort, maybe even a one-man department. But I tell you, this officer has nothing but love for the community in his heart. He understands that there is no I in teamwork. The love of the community is in his heart. When he talks about the assignments and accomplishments, he assures everyone that we did this together. Senior Corporal Castillo is well respected by his supervisors, peers, and is well known throughout the department. He has married his lovely wife 26 years, Lisa. Together they have 3 children, Joshua, Luke, and Isabella. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to award Senior Corporal Stephen Castillo as the DC PAC 2020 Officer of the Year. Senior Corporal. Okay, let's get a picture with Larry. All right, Jan, let's get a picture with Larry. Okay, we have a bunch of awards here, and I'm going to go through them pretty quickly, but it's very important that you see these things. And one of the awards, of course, is a plaque honoring Senior Corporal Stephen Castillo, badge number 5733, Officer of the Year 2020. He also gets a different bar to wear on his uniform. It's got a star in the middle, which signifies Officer of the Year. In addition to that, we have from our Texas Senators, Angela Paxton, Bella Bryant, her district manager, arranged to have all of this. And Stephen, this is a proclamation that the Angela Paxton put together, Senator put together for us. Very well read here. We also have, I won't read that. It's quite long. It's a long one. We also have a certificate in here, Angela. We'll get a picture of here. We also have a flag that was flown over the Capitol, Austin. I think you said it was yesterday. And that's compliments of Senator Paxton. And there's a story in there about how this flag is flown and the meaning of it. We have a book from Tom Halsey, The Winningest Mindset, compliments of him. We'll get that. And we have just so many things up here that we have to deal with. Bill, do you want to help out on this one?
Yeah, and I want the chief to come help us too.
Okay.
We all get up. There's too much of this.
There's too much. We have a lot of stuff here. But I want Chief, I want you to present this plaque and this bar to your officer because this is your man. Yeah, we have a few little things. We want to take care of, first of all, of your wife. So we're going to send her over to Grand Spa for a facial or a massage. Then, I believe you have 3 children. There's dinner for 5 at McGuire's Restaurant. And then, after you kind of, because that's all, they founded, the people that own this restaurant, 12 Cuts, I'll just stand up. Where are you? They founded Fogo de Chao, and now they're doing everything here that they couldn't do at Fogo de Chao. So they're taking your family to dinner as well. And I think, don't you have a place for them to spend the night? Yes. Compliments of the Hall Arts Hotel downtown Arts District. Arts District.
We're Dallas.
I know we're Dallas. Thank you, Bill. I'm still trying to get over your talk here. But compliments of the Hall Arts Hotel. We have a 1-night stay at the Hall Arts downtown and a $100 to spend as you wish in the hotel and free parking, of course. So that's for you.
That's more than the meal.
And then we have this. Here, Bill, you want to hold that up?
I would love to.
And here is a check for $1,000 from the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee. Here's the real check. And I think you'll find that to be a nice thing to spend. Okay. And I think that was it that we have. Now, one more, okay, not here. And then one more thing I'd like to bring up, Don Munson. We have another award that is given. This is a very special award from the Military Order of World Wars. And we have this, you've already received the award, but I want this award to be read. This is for all the other officers that got their awards today. We have this, and Don, just tell them a little bit about it.
I've been given 60 seconds to tell you what we do. And the Military Order of the World Wars is a misnomer. And in fact, when it was established, it was the Military Order of the Great War. It was founded in 1919, 1 year exactly after the end of World War I, by General John J. Pershing, the only 5-star general from that war. When he came home, there was such a feeling of patriotism in this nation that he gathered the officers who had served with him overseas, and he said, there's 3 things I want you to continue in this country. This deep feeling of patriotism, you need to bring this to the next generation. So he said, number 1, I want you to go out and within your nation, go to the next generation of youth, mentor them, support them, and bring them along. And the second thing that he did, and this was the most important of all, is he said, support law and order. Without that, we do not have a civil society. And so on behalf of the Military Order of World Wars, we want to thank you for everything you do to keep us secure.
Thank you. Steve, did we do enough?
I think it's my birthday.
All right. Please say a few words.
Please.
First of all, I just want to thank this organization for hosting us. Y'all said it, y'all did it for 20 years. That's a long time. That means a lot to each and every officer here. I'm glad to be back in North Dallas. This is where I started my career in '88. Back then the academy was only like 4.5 months. Now I think it's 9 months. And I came up here, and I'm really you couldn't come to a better area in North Dallas in '88 and '89. I remember always going out to eat, and once in a while someone would, when we wouldn't know it, we wouldn't request it, but they would buy us lunch, and that really means a lot. You know, being 2021, sometimes the police get a bad publicity. You hear a lot of people tell me, why are you still an officer? Why do you work in Dallas? And it's because of people like y'all. You know, I mean, y'all keep officers here. And I'm never, now my new saying when I meet someone and talk to someone, I always talk too much anyway. Anyway, when I meet a citizen and converse with them, I ask them, do you live in Dallas? If they say yes, I always say, thank you. And I do mean that. This city is growing, and it's grown because of the citizens that live here. And they, you know, they always know that they respect the police, they appreciate us. So it doesn't, we remember, getting the thanks from all of y'all. We do appreciate it. And this is unbelievable. I mean, y'all doing this for 20 years. Thank you. I just want to say thanks to, I work for a good department, and I have an incredible supervisor, Sergeant Wilson Jones. Can you stand up? Can y'all give her a big, if you don't know her, once you meet her, you'll never forget. She's she's like the Energizer bunny. She's always going, and I think that reflects on me and her troops. She's always going, so you're gonna go. I also want to recognize Chris Hoffey. I work at Central, and he's the same way. He's always going, always busy. So when you see them working, you're working. That's the way the organization works. And all these officers that got the awards today, one works in fugitive, and I was telling her the last time I'm arrested, like for someone for aggravated assault of a family. I mean, before we got a detective on the scene, they'd have already caught the person. So, so thank you for all the hard work. We have a lot of good leaders for the department, and it's just I'm just a reflection of the department. So once again, thank y'all. If it does, I can't say thanks. I appreciate everything y'all do, and it means a lot. I mean, when citizens walk up and thank us, it does. It's kept me here for 33 years. I'm from Galveston, from the beach. When you coming back? Oh, I don't know, but it's because of reasons like this, and I think the love that y'all give the police department, that I've stayed so long. And no.
Well,
only to let us work with a cane, and that's not going to happen. Anyway, well, thank y'all so much.
Stephen, on behalf of Success North Dallas, thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you.
And your sergeant's name is Williams. Your sergeant and the lady at the back. Awesome. Go ahead and have a seat. Now, one of the things that makes this work are the nominations that the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee receives from the management of the Dallas Police Department, the sergeants, the rank and file, the sergeants like Officer Jones that nominated Stephen. So Officer Jones, would you come up here, please? We want you to know how much we appreciate what you did, the nominations, and how we can't do this without those nominations. So on behalf of the Dallas Community Police Awards, please accept these flowers. Thank you. Jan Claudner, thank you for all that you do. This is really special. And now I get to introduce somebody that I'm looking forward to getting to know a lot better, to call a friend. I've had a meeting with him. I was also privy to where they previewed the new crime initiatives they were going to do. They had 12 people down at the Dallas Police Headquarters, but I got to meet a very special guy. Chief Eddie Garcia, the 30th police chief of the Dallas Police Department, the first Latino in the 140-year history of the Dallas Police Department, coming to command the ninth largest police department in the U.S. Originally, he's from Puerto Rico, and he's been a driving force that's helped light the path of possibilities between law enforcement and the community. Energetic, hands-on leadership style. The other officers, everyone I've talked to say, he's great. And his 21st century policing practices, this taking the criminal element off the streets in an unbiased way, reducing crime, maintaining support of the troops. Prior to his appointment as Dallas Police Chief in 2021, he was the San Jose Police Chief. In fact, he was with the San Jose Department for his entire career prior to coming to Dallas. And he earned a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice, not just criminal justice, but criminal justice management from the Union Institute University. And he places tremendous value on public safety and community engagement, with the understanding that this is a shared responsibility, that the police cannot do it without us. As at the FBI, we are the communities, we're their eyes and ears, and we must engage openly and I think lovingly with our police. I had a son kidnapped at one point, a long time ago. I got to know officers in blue better than any of you, and I'll get tears in my eyes, but I had policemen stopping by the house from even a different department when this occurred. So they are our best friends. They are unbelievable people. And I want to quote, "I stand eager to start this new chapter in life and this organization with a mission to make Dallas one of the safest cities in the country." Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our new Dallas Police Department Chief, Eddie Garcia. What a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'll get into it in a little bit, but I'll explain why you're so special from a large perspective. I am Eddie Garcia. I've been here for, I'd be like the Lieutenant Colonel and speak without a mic, because he did really well without it. But been here for 4 months. Love my new city, love my department. The 4 months feels like I've been here a lot longer. Feels like about a year. But when I say that to people, people laugh, and I go, well, it's not for the negative reasons that you might think. It's for a lot of positive reasons. A lot of things that we're doing in the department, a lot of things we're doing in the community, and really realizing things. From my perspective, Dallas was always a destination spot for me. I spent nearly 30 years at the San Jose Police Department, and now I'm the new guy here. And it's interesting. I've had 3 academy classes that I've held over graduations, and all of them have lower badge numbers than I do. So it gets me. In addition to that, every time I started my career in the early 90s, and I asked every academy class who wasn't born yet in 1992. And slowly but surely, more and more of them are raising their hands, and it ends up being a little bit of a gut punch to me as we start talking. But I was born in Puerto Rico. I moved to California at a young age. And I say this all the time, and it's kind of corny, but I've had these conversations with former council member Gates, Staubach Gates, that I was a Dallas Cowboy fan before I spoke a lick of English. And, I remember seeing her dad running around, and we've had these conversations and laughed many, many times about it. This was always a place for me. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, and I'll tell you this, I have to tell people realistically that, I was a police chief in San Jose for 5 years, and early on in that time, I said, listen, when I retire, because whoever does the early retirement over here said, I didn't get your memo. I didn't get your memo. But I said, hey, when I retire, one of the things that I want to do is I love coaching football, and coach my boys in Pop Warner football for forever, and coach some high school football. And I said, listen, I want to be a history teacher and a high school football coach. That's what I want to do. And then as time went by in the 5 years, and particularly it hit me last year after the George Floyd protests and things of that nature that happened in American law enforcement we were going through. And I said, hey, listen, if, I still had the fire in me. And I'm like, if all of us that, support our community, support our officers, support our, want to keep our community safe, if we all throw in the towel, who's going to be left? 2 years ago at a Major City Chiefs conference, I was with one of my friends who used to be the former police chief of Charlotte, Mecklenburg, Kurt Putney. And I said, Kurt, you know what? If that Dallas job ever opens up, this is 2 years ago, if that Dallas job ever opens up, I'd be interested in that. And so I announced my retirement last year. A month later, I find out that the job's opening up towards the end of the year. And I'm like, you know what? I think someone's trying to tell me something. I was always going to retire in North Texas. I was either going to be probably sitting in the audience or standing up here. And so, I love it here. It's been fantastic. They say, when you come to a place, how you want to leave it, you want to leave it better than when you found it. I'll tell you this, the pillars that we have in this police department and the individuals that are sitting here, not only the people that are here getting awards, but the command staff that are here. I tell you what, I was blessed. I was really blessed. I don't come into this job blindly. I know the issues that face us. I know what we have to accomplish. I know we have to reduce violent crime and increase community trust. That's no secret. But we have an unbelievable team, and I'm very proud of them all. And they've all stood up to the challenge. I was asked yesterday, one of the magazines, I had to do an interview with magazines, and they asked me, what are some of the differences between here and San Jose? And I said, well, let me just deal with some of the things that are equal. Number one, the officers here give their heart and souls for the city. And they work extremely hard. Two, community support. And let me tell you where the community support comes in. Not just y'all. See how that flowed? The y'all. It just comes out naturally. I know my staff hears me at command staffs, and it's just flowing more naturally. I'm not a stay in the office kind of chief, and I'll tell you this, and I said the same thing in San Jose, and I'll say the same thing here. Listen, we are going to weed and seed. That's our mission. We're going to weed the criminal element off our streets, and we're going to seed the community with positivity. You hear a lot of rhetoric, particularly in the last year, about whether the police are wanted, whether they're not wanted, the defending conversation, and things of that nature. And I'll say the same thing today here as I've said in the city of San Jose. Regardless of noise, and I tell it to my rank and file, my officers, I'm not a stay in the office kind of chief. There has not been one neighborhood yet, whether in San Jose, California, or Dallas, Texas, regardless of race, language spoken, or economic status, that I have ever heard these words: I want to see less of you in my neighborhood. I've never heard that. I've not heard that once. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was in South Oak Cliff, and it didn't matter if it was a Spanish-speaking ice cream shop owner or an African-American small business owner running a beauty salon, that I did not hear the words, whether in English or Spanish, "Do not forget about us, chief." Those words invigorate me. Those words invigorate my staff, because we know that we have a mission here. I'll tell you, the support that's shown here is so important. They talk about, what pumps us up as officers, right? And it's like, yeah, we talk about wages and things of that nature, but it's their accolades. It's a thank you, that really gets the officers going to do their jobs. I come from a state, and I've said this before, and I'm feeling more comfortable saying it, that sometimes people are embarrassed to stand up publicly to say they support the police department. And I would say that honestly. I can't tell you in the last 4 months, whether it's this occasion or other instances, that in 5 years that I was police chief in San Jose, I didn't have the events that we've had in 4 months, celebrating the sacrifices and the work of the men and women that wear this uniform, and the men and women that come to work every day. Yes. Do we have issues? Absolutely. Do we have to get better in American law enforcement? Absolutely. Do we have to get better here in Dallas? Yes. We hire from the human race. We will make mistakes. We are an imperfect profession. But the vast majority of our officers give their heart and souls for this city. And I'll tell you this, coming from a different place, seeing what you have here, when we talk about the support that we get here, it's second to none. It's second to none. I'll tell you what, I know I've spoken to our recruiting folks that when we're ready to go, and we want to recruit from Dallas, but we're going to go other places. And I'm going to tell you this, we're going to be able to sell this police department, because I know the difference is when a community, when the residents, when business supports you, I know how that feels. I know how it feels when they don't, and I know how it feels as I'm feeling it now when they do. And you can't understand how much that makes me get up in the morning eager and ready to go. I can tell you that probably has the same effect on the officers. These things matter. You absolutely matter. Again, as we're recruiting, we're going to grow. I know we're talking about it. I've got tremendous support from our city manager with the growth that we're going to have in the police department. We're going to grow responsibly, but we will grow. We don't have to beat myself in the head trying to get the point across. The bosses know, and they've been very receptive and very supportive, and we will grow as a police department. Our academy classes, have been fantastically diverse, and we will continue to do that. Here's the two things, right? Taking the criminal element off our streets, keeping our community safe, and building strong community trust. Those two concepts are not mutually exclusive, and we will accomplish both. I'll tell you, I'm ecstatic to be here. I'm excited to be here. Again, I only do this job because I love doing it. A lot of us that have 30 years we don't need to do this. We do this because we love it. We do it because we love our community. We do it because we respect the work, the men and women, and the sacrifices that are done on a daily basis. And we do it, so that we can look in the mirror at the end of the day to say we made a difference. Whether that's the officer working at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday or the police chief of the 9th largest city in the country. We all look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, did we make a difference today? Tell my command staff every day, what's our mantra? Our mantra is to win the day. We know that violent crime in this city has gone up in the last few years, and I'm not blaming the pandemic, because violent crime was going up in large American cities long before the pandemic started. Okay, we know we have to accomplish, and we have to turn the tide, and we will turn the tide. We have an amazing group of men and women that are going to do that. We're going to win the day, and by winning the days, we'll win the weeks. If we win the weeks, we win the month, and we're going to turn this thing around, and we will make Dallas one of the safest, largest cities in the country. Can't appreciate you enough for having me here. Can't appreciate enough for recognizing the sacrifices of the men and women of the Dallas Police Department. And so God bless you all. God bless the DPD. Thank you.
We have a couple of gifts. We're known for this. But the first one, this is a book that was given to me by Colleen Barrett, first COO of a major airline, The Nature of Excellence, by Lee and Julie Cohen. It is a beautiful book. It's the book she gave to her board when she retired, but it is a study, The Nature of Excellence, which is what we're looking forward for you bringing to the Dallas Police Department. And then in terms of indoctrination, these are two of my books. This is autographed to me from the Wiley family, but Texas Got It Right by Sam Wiley. The can-do spirit of Texas, that winning the day spirit. And then this is a book full of pictures and other things that you couldn't get your hands on if you had to. Dallas Got It Right, again by the Wiley family. They went to all their cronies and got all the Dallas historical pictures and put them together in this book. So from the Wiley family, from Success North Dallas, welcome to Dallas, Chief, and welcome to Texas. And we've heard you like steak.
On occasion.
On occasion. So dinner for two at 12 Cuts. And we appreciate you very, very much, my friend. God bless. Godspeed. So with no further ado, we're going to make a presentation to the chief. The presentation is for the Dallas Police Department. Is Rodiez here? Did he make it? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this painting. This is Back the Blue. This painting, and there's a plaque that Ro has. He just could not make it this morning. But Rodiez is a Cuban-American artist who values and lives in freedom, as he will tell you, because of the men and women in blue, that he could not live in Cuba. And during last February's meeting, he painted this painting. And we've never had the opportunity to actually go to the police department to present it because of COVID-19. So we wanted just to present it here today. Chief Garcia, would you accept this painting on behalf of all of the officers of the year to hang in perpetuity at the Dallas Police Department? Stephen, come join us, because this is in honor of all of the officers of the year. Please take my place. You know, I gave it. Oh, you're going to take it right now. I like that. You know, I've talked to a lot of, I'm native Dallas. I've been here 71 years. I've seen the great chiefs and the not so great chiefs, but I've never heard the rank and file of the department speak as highly about a chief as I've heard them speak about you. And that's not blowing smoke, because I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think we've got not just the good, the bad, the ugly. I think we've got the really good this time. So welcome to Dallas. You know, when I gave a talk at the FBI, it was making the community your eyes and ears. And I gave that to the agents. And think about that. You are their eyes and ears. And if you see something, it's incumbent that you let them know, because the next person having it happen to could be you. So keep that in the back of your mind. You are the eyes and ears. All right, moving right along. Oh, there's also breakfast for two and a wake in there as well. So, I mean, yeah, we do crazy things. We have fun doing it. I've got the greatest job in the world. I get to put two people together, take a step back, and watch the magic happen. Sometimes I actually get paid to do it. And sometimes I just have fun, like today. This is so great. What? Yes, Father. No. All righty, upcoming meetings. We've got Attorney General Ken Paxton coming. The topic is defeating trafficking in Texas. It's going to be specific. It's not a political stunt. It's talking about and addressing one of our biggest problems, trafficking. We've got a number of other speakers coming. Mark the third Wednesday of each and every month from 7 to 9 a.m. on your calendar. You ladies and men in blue, you're always welcome as our guest. Jesse Rios, Chief, I want to acknowledge you. He's been a member here almost since we started doing the Officer of the Year, because he was in Northwest and he found us and we kind of found him, and he's always been here supportive of us. So with that being said, upcoming sponsored events. June 17th, City Central, Fort Worth grand opening, Mark Berg. Also on June 17th, Tom Pulsley, The Winning Mindset That Saved My Life, prostate cancer. Second, it's a rewrite of the book endorsed by Dr. Kenneth Cooper. And at the Cooper Institute on the 17th, there'll be two book signings from 11 to 1 and 5 to 7. Jan Claudner has all the information on that. On June 24th, the SND Young Executives are doing a happy hour. Do we have more information to follow? We don't know where it is. Sidecar Social, we just got informed. Sidecar Social, June the 24th. What time are you going to start it? 4:30. So Sidecar Social, 4:30. And there'll be a drawing for dinner for two at 12 Cuts. So go and maybe you'll win something. And then on July the 8th, C-Suite's Lone Star Council, of which I'm very much a part of C-Suite. We started in 2014. We started the Geo Council, the Lone Star Council here, and we'll be meeting at 8:30 in the morning on July the 8th. And it will be an interview with Larry North. Anybody that's been around Dallas a long time knows that Larry North was really one of the first health gurus, radio people in Dallas. And he's a longtime friend. And you can see it virtually. We'll be virtual on that. And we'll have a few in-person seats. So reach out to me. And then the second most, actually just as good as Success North Dallas, really. I hate to say that, but it really is. The first Friday book synopsis. Randy, what do you have for us this month?
First of all, Bill and Dan, what a wonderful morning. And Chief and all of the police officers. On July 9th, July, I'm presenting a synopsis of Amazon Unbound by Brad Stone and the book by Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman, Noise, A Flaw in Human Justice. July 9th on Zoom, 7:30 in the morning. Thank you, Bill.
How many years have you been doing this, Randy?
We're in our 24th year.
Unbelievable. We got some longevity around here. So that's one of the best returns on time you'll find. Plus, we got multiple happy hours. We'll be sending out a happy hour notification probably on Friday for Success North Dallas. But we've got happy hours that committed to us from Table 13, Babette at Granite Park, Lincoln Experience with the Cowboys and Virgin Hotels. So we'll be starting into that now that COVID's kind of behind us, and we're going to have some fun. You know, it takes money to do this. We have a donation button on our site. Suggested donation is $20, but whatever you might want to do. If you enjoyed the meeting, if you really enjoyed the meeting, I'm talking virtual and in person. If you really enjoyed the meeting, we would love to have you join. Membership in Success North Dallas is very simple. Go to the website, or you can join out front with Luke out here. But go to the website. It's $345 a year. And that includes all 12 meetings, the Continental Buffet, the best of the best in speakers, first-time guests, a true place where meaningful relationships are built. Card pushers are tossed. We do have cards to change hands, but those are relational cards. $345 a year, and just join today if you liked it. We'd love to have you as part of our family. We're invoicing current members too, so Jan gets very unhappy when, and if you don't remember having paid, just pay again. If you get an invoice, pay. That's the way we keep going. Or go to the website and make a donation, whatever works. And now I want any new member in the last 60 days, say, just to stand up and give their name and their company name, name and company name, because we want to welcome you to Success North Dallas, including partner members, any new members in the last 60 days, because you're our lifeblood. Let's start over there. Very, very loud. Awesome. Right back here. EarthX. An attorney and motivational speaker? Are you a member of National Speakers Association? Good. I just stepped down as director of marketing. Please. Bolt. Jesse, we're so glad to have you. Welcome to these people that have come to the family. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were just waving at me. Ooh, okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And secondly, anyone in transition, looking for a job or new to Dallas, you cannot even imagine. Our members have created over 1,200 jobs. People get hired out of this room. But anybody in transition, new to Dallas, we want to say hi, or like Holly, looking for her first job or an internship. So if you would stand, and I want you, after you give your name and discipline only, to come down by the American flag, and anyone in the room who has an idea, even a Dallas Police Department recruiter, that would like to come down and visit with them for a moment and has any idea for them, because our qualifications for membership in Success North Dallas are very simple. Be a success in your own eyes. We have no right to define what success is for you. Honor your commitments. Let's go back to the handshake, and be a giver. It's all about our fellow men and women. And it's all about our fellow men and women. So in transition, new to Dallas, looking for an internship, please stand. That's it. Back down here to Dallas. And your discipline again is finance, sales, operation. Holly. Awesome. Be sure you send me your resume as well in your cover. So if you have an idea, come down and visit with these people afterwards. We'll be sending out a video link to this meeting today. And so when you get that, share it. Mark the third Wednesday of every month on your calendar. A lot of friends here today, a lot of new faces here today as well. And I'm just honored. So in closing, Jan, have I covered everything? In closing, may you do what you love to do with people you love to do it with on purpose. God bless and Godspeed. Thank you all. Buck Kern, come here.
Have a great day, all.
You too. Bye.